Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy. James Bullock here with another video game first impressions. This time around, EA Sports UFC 3. Now, the full game isn't out, of course. That comes out at the beginning of February of next year. But they had a closed, then open beta for the game. And thankfully, your boy here was able to get in. Thanks to a little help. Gotta give a shout out to my girl Daria. She helped me out on this one. Got into the closed beta, started playing it Wednesday, and of course, first thing I do is start checking out the modes. We have pretty much everything from EA UFC 2 back again. You have not only the regular single player modes like career and simply fight now modes, but you also have the online abilities. You have the quick fights, the ranked fights. You have, of course, Ultimate Team, and that's probably the reason why I'm doing this more than anything. Now, for those who don't know, Ultimate Team mode, it's a mode that is based around loot boxes, or in this case card packs, where depending on what you get, you could have some of the best moves, or the average moves, or the worst moves, or some of the best fighters, or some of the worst fighters, or some of the average fighters. And depending on your luck, you might have the ability to really stack up a fighter and make him an unstoppable force, or you could be like yours truly and have a pretty average fighter who has to depend on the player's abilities to win. And the fact of the matter is, when it comes to Ultimate Team mode, just like it was in UFC 2, skills are what help you win. I have fought many a stacked fighter in both UFC 2 and even in UFC 3 during the beta that I was able to overcome because they were so reliant on these jacked up moves, these powerful moves, that they didn't learn how to really play the game. The biggest problem for me when it comes to Ultimate Team is the same thing that I had a problem with in the last game, is the refusal by EA to allow for the smaller, lighter, least important card packs, which is the basic pack in this case, not being coins only. Now, coins are attained no matter how well you do in a fight, as long as you complete the fight. The one problem that I had with EA UFC 2 when it came to the pack purchasing was the fact that, like, the low-end basic pack, which didn't really have much, were only purchasable by paying actual money for EA or UFC points. I forgot which one it's called. And then you could use the coins plus those points to buy the packs. I just wish they would have done away with the point system for the basic packs. I wish you could just spend coins alone on the basic pack, which is not going to benefit you that much, but would make the coins feel like they actually mean something without having to spend actual money. I think that Ultimate Team isn't a great detriment to the product, especially to the online experience, since you can play online ranked, you can play online free play with your created fighters, with real fighters, without having the Ultimate Team boosting methods. Now, this doesn't nullify the argument that really the microtransactions in Ultimate Team mode aren't necessary. It's just the fact that I really wish we could have an Ultimate Team without it. When it comes to the actual gameplay itself, this game is completely different from the last two EA UFC games, specifically when it comes to the stand-up, because gone is the parry system where you could block shots and use counter punches by hitting one of the face buttons, and it would parry a shot, an incoming shots, be it a leg kick, a punch to the face, or what have you, and you could counter. In EA UFC 2, they added more of a free movement when it came to the upper body, where you could sway in and out, bob and weave. But it really wasn't a necessity because you had the parry system. Without the parry system in the game, which is something I did not know was gone when I started playing it, in EA UFC 3, you have to learn how to move the body. You have to learn how to sway, how to duck, how to bob, how to weave, and how to slip into those punches. If you're not careful, you can lean into a devastating kick or punch that could rock you and end the fight very quickly, or vice versa. You can lure people to going into a specific direction and lure them into that devastating hook or uppercut or head kick. or body shot, or specifically leg kicks, which are devastating in this game, more so than any of the other UFC games thus far. From a stand-up perspective, I think the gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. After I got used to it, I hated it before I did. I really hated it before I got used to it, and now I absolutely love it. I don't really know how I'm going to go back to EA UFC 2. When it comes to the ground and the clinch game, it's pretty much exactly the same. So if you didn't like it in the second game, if you didn't like it in UFC 2, you won't like it here. It's exactly the same. The submission system is exactly the same. Pretty much everything outside of the stand-up when it comes to the actual fighting is exactly the same. In this beta, we were allowed to play as 10 of the lightweight fighters, not including your creative fighter that you can make in Ultimate Team mode. Almost every character felt and played different in some form or fashion. If you played as Conor McGregor, which a lot of people did, of course, because he was the fastest and best striker from a statistical standpoint, you could probably overwhelm a lot of players if you know how to play when it comes to a stand-up perspective. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's Edson Barboza with his devastating leg kicks, so he could nullify a lot of what a McGregor player would try to do. Controversy aside, I'm really excited to see how the full game turns out. I hope they improve some of the things that I feel are lacking, especially when it comes to blocking speed. Online connectivity was really good. I had one real laggy fight. The funniest things were situations where I was playing Ultimate Team and for some reason it would load my character on both sides or something like that. A few janky moments, like one fight I had Edson Barboza shoot across the cage for some reason. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy with another video game first impression. EA Sports UFC 3. Controversial, yes. Good game thus far, yes. Am I excited to pick it up when it does come out? Very much so. Actually, oh lordy, I am.